This video explains how to use the cloud services of Track of the Day. Enjoy! The cloud services were introduced with version 6.0 of Track of the Day. A Pro license is required for use. This must be registered in the cloud. As part of the registration process, a user account is also created in the cloud, to which new licenses can be added later when a license expires. Pro licenses can be found in the shop of Track of the Day. To do this, open the website www.trackoftheday.com and click on Buy Pro Edition. Then you put the license in the shopping cart and go to the virtual checkout. After the license is paid for, it will automatically appear on the website after confirming the purchase. You just have to scroll down a little. At the same time, the shop system sends an email with the license key of the Pro license. If you don't receive this email, it's very likely stuck in the spam filter of your email program. Let's move on to the registration of this license. After starting Track of the Day, open the General Settings section of the application settings. Then click on the button at the top right of the empty field for displaying the license key. The dialog for upgrading to the Pro Edition opens. Here you now paste the license key via copy and paste. Alternatively, you can open a license from a license file. Then you come up with a username and enter your email address and password. After clicking on Register License, the data entered is transmitted to the cloud services in encrypted form. There it is checked whether the username has not yet been assigned and whether the license has not yet been registered. If everything is correct, a new user is created and the license is linked to that user. If that also works, an OK is sent from the cloud to Track of the Day. Once the license has been successfully registered, tracks and routes can be shared with other users via the cloud services. Let's take a look at how it all works. To do this, we open the cloud services and dock them on the right side of the screen. Now let's open some routes and tracks from the database. We select a route and click on the cloud icon above the list of routes. The route is now uploaded to the cloud and immediately displayed by the cloud services. Now we're uploading more routes and tracks to the cloud. We can now download all tracks and routes on other private computers. To do this, we switch to a Microsoft Surface Pro 8 tablet, open Track of the Day and download the tracks and routes there. We are now changing one of the routes and uploading it again. Then we will update the list of tracks and routes available online and download the changed route back to the desktop PC. All tracks and routes that you have uploaded to the cloud can be shared with other users. A distinction is made between a private share and a public share. To share a track or route publicly, click on the icon with the small padlock. If it is open, the respective element is visible to all users. Private approvals are suitable for tours that you want to share with the participants of a motorcycle tour, for example as a tour guide. Each item uploaded to the cloud has a sharing token for this purpose. This token is a 6-digit sequence of numbers and letters. If you click on a sharing token, it will be copied to the Windows clipboard. With this sharing token, other users can download the route and copy it to your navigation device. To share a track or route with travel participants who are not yet Track of the Day users, you can also call up a hyperlink. We can see how this works here. After clicking on the button with the small globe, the hyperlink is generated and copied to the Windows clipboard. It can now be sent by email to all tour participants. To show how this works, I send myself an email with a link to a route. We now see this email here. If you now click on this link, the default web browser will be launched and the route will be downloaded from the cloud. However, the route shared in this way is stored in the cloud in the native format of Track of the Day. Only very few navigation devices can handle this file format. To ensure that the participants of a trip can open and use the routes without installing Track of the Day, all routes can be shared via the cloud in format for different navigation devices. We'll see how that works now. We click on the icon with the arrow on the left side of the map to open the route export dialog. Now let's click on the filter icon to disable the filter for the export settings. Now we select the presets for the new and the old BMW Motorrad Navigator in turn, then the Garmin Zumo XT and the Garmin Zumo XT2. It should be noted that this form of export is not yet supported in version 6.0.2 for Garmin Basecamp and TomTom devices. After exporting, we see in the cloud that the route is displayed in different export formats. Participants who download one of these routes via a hyperlink can use the GPX file on their navigation device without any changes. The cloud services use the Microsoft Azure cloud. Therefore, every byte that is uploaded to the cloud has to be paid. To prevent operational costs from exploding, the number of tracks and routes that can be shared via the cloud is initially limited. Once the limit is reached, you can delete shared items in the cloud, making room for new tracks or routes. A very cool feature of cloud services is the search for tracks and routes, which we now want to take a closer look at. To search for shared items, search mode must be enabled. Here we can see some input fields and different controls that allow for very different search options. Let's start by searching through the map section. To do this, we focus the map on the north of Sardinia and mark the checkbox Maps section. Now we click on Search and find some routes for Sardinia. These routes can now be viewed with the preview function or imported individually. With the two buttons above the list of tracks and routes, all tracks or routes can be opened or imported into the local database. For each route, the name, format, duration, distance, upload date and the publisher's username are displayed. In addition, icons indicate whether it is a round trip or a route from A to B. Now let's delete the search parameters and look for particularly mountainous round trips. You can also search by difficulty, hashtags, countries and distance. That brings me to the end of this video. I would be very happy about a thumbs up and a comment. Thank you very much for watching and see you soon.